Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again on YCP Live, the Industry Series. I'm Erica Sable Flores, and I'm the Program Manager for the Youth Cinema Project. If you are a YCP alumni or current student, welcome back from spring break. And to those that are new to our community, the Youth Cinema Project is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're part of the Latino Film Institute, and we bring the film industry into the classrooms of public schools. We have two professional filmmakers that teach a film program that lasts 1 year, where our students get to write, pitch, produce, direct, act, and cast their own short films. And then they get to attend red carpet premieres of their films at our film festival, which is La Live. So to learn more about our program and to check out some of our student-made films or to watch some of our celebrity live reads, look around our website at youthcinemaproject.org after the workshop or our YouTube channel. And if you miss any episode of the Industry Series, you can also watch those on our website. Also, please subscribe to all of our social media channels so that you can keep updated on the work we do. If you're watching for the first time, the Industry Series is an opportunity for our students to learn some film-related skills that we either teach at the curriculum, in our curriculum at a very basic level, or we don't get to teach them at all because we basically teach film in 102 hours. So we have two more coming, two more Thursdays after today, and we're going to be hosting these workshops every Thursday after school with industry pros that are going to guide us through fun activities or share career information with us. Okay, today is super exciting because I get to learn something that I've never done before, and with our guests, Sabrina Osuna and Michelle Snyder. Sabrina and Michelle have been working as a professional makeup artist for over 12 years. They work as a team often, and they have worked on over 21 films for Netflix, Amazon Studios, Lifetime, and many more. They have worked on many creatures for horror films, and they sculpt, mold, and create custom prosthetics. They love horror movies, and they love creating creepy creatures. So, welcome to our YCV Live Industry Series. Oh, actually, for the little ones watching or anyone who gets queasy, we're going to be showing pictures of wounds, cuts, burns, and some scary creatures. But please know that it's all fake and it's all part of movie magic. So welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited. We have so many students that are interested in both beauty makeup and special effects makeup. And I am sure they're going to love this workshop. So, to get us started right away, why don't you guys tell me about yourselves?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us. Like you said, we've been doing this for over 12 years each, and we've worked on many films, TV shows, including Netflix, Amazon, and Lifetime. And we went from just being kids who were obsessed with horror movies and blood to getting to work on them. So it's super cool. It's like living out our dream.
So, how is it that you ended up working in this industry?
Um, Actually, a lot of it is from social media. So I started in beauty makeup and kind of took a journey from there, from fashion shows to everything in between. And then from there, my love for blood always kind of just seeped through. So I did a lot of stuff on myself at first and would just post it on social media and post it kind of everywhere, really let people know that I'm not just a beauty artist. I love blood and I love creatures. And then from there, just getting contacted and working on film to film and then becoming into that lane. So it was really cool.
So, did you have to go to school to learn how to do this, or did you teach yourselves?
We taught ourselves. Although both of us, we took, different various seminars and classes to kind of, help us along the way, but we pretty much taught ourselves.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So, what is the coolest thing that you've ever worked on?
Ooh, that's a good one. We've had so many chances of working so many amazing things, but I think the creature we're most proud of is this one creature where we had to create all the prosthetics, which were like extended fingers, these little things that came off of the arms,
tentacles.
Yes, yeah. It was just like basically
a creature suit.
Yes, a creature suit. The director, wig. Yep, the wig. I mean, from every aspect of that creature, from head to toe, literally was ours. But it was so great to get contacted by this director who just did a sketch and had a vision, and to create his vision to life and to see how excited he was to see that, I think will forever be one of our favorite moments. And also the actress is known for being Samara in the Grudge movies. So, I mean,
Oh,
excuse me,
wow.
the Ring movies, pardon me, in the Ring movies. So that was really cool because she's able to like manipulate her body really well. So having to not only create a really interesting creature, but being able to create these custom prosthetics that can move with someone who's a contortionist was a really fun challenge we hadn't done until that time.
That's cool. And actually, we have in a lot of the scripts that our kids write, there's a lot of people that write horror scripts, and there's always creatures. So this will be very cool. And we're going to look at pictures of that later, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. So what is your favorite thing about your job?
Ooh, I'll let you go for this one.
Favorite thing. Well, there's a lot of favorite things. I think for me, when a director gives you, he presents you with a concept and we're able to create something from that, that's like my favorite part, because that's when the creative juices start flowing. You know, Sabrina and I, we get together, we look at it, and we kind of figure out what we want to do, you know, and we kind of just go crazy with that idea.
Yeah,
that's the best part for me.
Yeah, making it come alive.
It's like
script.
Yeah,
it's because it's like someone's idea that was in their head, and now you're making it like come to reality, right? So that sounds
exactly.
That sounds pretty fun. And then, what is hard about your job?
Oh, I got that one. I will give you the number one answer to that. Having to create maybe something that's a lot more complex in an amount of time that should not be able to be done. So sitting around for like 4 hours just waiting because the other scenes are taking longer and the actors in the other scenes, and then you're waiting patiently, and then they're like, oh, we're running behind, you actually only have 5 minutes. And I'm like, all right, we can do it. I remember this one time we had to create 7 like fish creatures, very similar to something you'll see later on. And we had to create a family of 7 of them. And we had to do full prosthetics, bald caps in 20 minutes and full airbrush.
Oh my God.
It was insane, but we made it work.
We did. I honestly don't know if we can do that again, but we did it that one time.
Yeah, but that's true. I always, from my experience being on set, makeup is always like, they're coming to you and you're like, okay, you have 5 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? And then everyone, always the makeup artist, like that ability to just work fast and still do. Yeah. I'm always impressed by that they can just in 5 minutes somehow have it come together. So, okay. All right. So what are we doing today? What are we going to learn today?
Ooh, so we want to really teach everyone out of the kit. So what out of kit means, it's basically where you're not using prosthetics, you're using stuff that you can build. So builds are the fundamentals in SFX, because sometimes you'll be on set and they never told you that this actor needs a realistic cut. And now you're like, oh, well, I don't have that prosthetic. I don't have that. So you need to know on your feet how to make it. So this is basically special effects 101, but that will take you from, even if it's your first time ever doing special effects, to being 12 years, you always need to know how to do it. So that's why we wanted to teach all of you that, because sometimes you're in a pickle. Sometimes you're only hired as a beauty artist that day. And then you're like, they come to you and they're like, hey, do you happen to know how to do a cut? And then you have to look around like, well, do you have some tissue? Like, do you have some glue? I can make it work. Yes, like I can make it work. We didn't plan this, but yeah, so that's why, again, like if you've been doing it for your first time ever, or if you've been on 20 plus sets, this is like the fundamentals that will get you through a lot of things. So that's what we're going to kind of go over today.
That's very cool. And can you guys tell me what a build is?
Yeah.
What is a build? Ahead.
Well, a build is basically, like she said, it's out of your kit. It's whatever you have in your kit. So like a very basic build would be like latex. That's pretty common that you would have in your SFX kit. And you would use something like tissue paper, Kleenex, paper towel, cotton ball. And a build up is basically you laying down a foundation like latex or whatever material you're using. Well, let's just talk about latex for now. And then you would lay whatever foundation you have as far as the tissue or, cotton or whatever. And then you would lay the latex back over it and you're building something up so you can turn it into a cut or burn or whatever you need to turn it into.
So basically grab whatever you have and then
Yeah.
literally build up to make a realistic cut or something that is, that would be. And I can also imagine you being, like you said, you're hired for beauty, you're doing makeup, and then the director like has this idea and is like, what if we like put a cut in their face or something, and then they're like, can you, and then you just like have to do. And also because I imagine if it's not like a big time prosthetic, you can make something like simple, quick, easy. That can also be, right? Okay, that's great. I'm excited about this. All right, so I'm also excited that whatever I do, I'm gonna get to prank everyone for the rest of the day, because I'm just gonna walk around. I'm gonna walk around with some injury in my body.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
So while the ladies get ready and set up to show us this activity, I will tell you this, that apart from their FX work, they have worked with over 40 celebrities. Oh my God. They have worked with over 40 celebrities for red carpet appearances. They've also worked with actors, actresses, singers, rappers, and YouTube stars. So they can do it all. So we will talk about that later too. But as a makeup artist, there are so many different things that you can specialize in. So it's a really big field. It's not just beauty makeup. And so today we're gonna see another side of the makeup job. Okay, so let's get started. I have my materials here too. So I have, if you're at home, get your things ready. So you are supposed to have glue or liquid latex. So one of those two things, perfect. Right?
Yeah.
And then we said food coloring or fake blood from like the Halloween store. I didn't have food coloring, so I have fake blood left over from last Halloween. And then some eyeshadows. So I have eyeshadows, and we said this color is green, purple, yellow type colors. Yeah. So I have that. And then I have these little colors, which is also kind of like the Halloween makeup that you would wear, cream colors that you would wear. So that, and then I also have some paper towels, like just normal ones. And I also have some tissue paper, like this kind of tissue paper, right? So this is what I've got, and everyone at home should have one or the other or a combination of those. And don't worry about it, because like they said, a build is grab whatever you have and make it work. So it's about being resourceful, creative, and just keeping it moving. All right, let's do it.
Perfect. So you can either grab your glue, and what's great about this, because I know it's like regular Elmer's glue, it's non-toxic, so you can use it. A lot of people tend to be like, wait, hold on a second, like I shouldn't put that on my skin. I know a lot of us when we were kids used to put it on our palms and then take the thing off. Like that's like basically SFX right there. That's like the bare bones beginning of it. So you can take the glue. It's just the same as using latex. It's very, very similar. So you can do either or. We're going to go ahead and use the latex, but I'll come in with the glue as well to show you. So
and I'll use the glue. I'll use the glue so we can see it both.
Perfect. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take a little bit of the glue or the latex, and you're going to lay it down on your arm. So give me 1 second to grab it. So just grab anything. If you have a cotton ball, if you have paper towel, if you have a little sponge, anything that can be a little bit of an applicator, you're going to use that. And that's another thing that's great about SFX is with beauty makeup, you need to have so many brushes. With SFX, you can literally use like a paper towel or a sponge, and then you're good. So it's really like great to not have to have a million brushes. So we're going to go ahead and just find a part on your arm. You can even do it on your face, wherever you feel comfortable. We're going to do it on our arms so you can, see a little better. And we're just going to lay down just a little bit right here, kind of get the base going. So this is the first layer that's going to make sure that you adhere to the next part. So whether you're using tissue or cotton, this is just the step that's going to help you. It's basically, it's the glue. It's the glue to your part.
Okay.
And if you have liquid latex does not smell good, FYI.
I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna do two. One with latex and one with glue. Let's do it. I
love it. Overachiever. Yes, Erica. You're I love it.
So I did one of each.
Perfect. And just get a few layers. I like to do about 3 layers where I'm just kind of dabbing it, just so it can really saturate into the next part.
So do we wait
yeah,
until it dries, or do we just go for it 3 times?
great question. So go for it 3 times, and before it dries, that's when you're gonna go ahead and grab your tissue or your cotton. So you can either grab little pieces of tissue. So think of this as like your skin, or you can grab little pieces of cotton. So anything you kind of tear up a bit, and then you're gonna go ahead and apply it on. So now you're gonna go ahead and apply it on, and this is what's going to be basically the edges of your fake skin. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna kind of basically, when you're doing builds, there's a lot of applying and then taking chunks of it off.
Oh, okay. So then literally just like a little piece, just break my little paper towel and just put like pieces in there, like a little bit.
Exactly.
Yes, a little bit at a time.
Okay.
All right. And
like
then
covering, am I covering the whole thing? The whole area?
So that's a great question. So you want to go more on the edge. So you're going to see there's some liquid latex in the middle, and you're going to go from one edge to another. So you want some of the liquid latex in the middle, and it's going to be basically the opening of your cut. So think of the cotton or tissue as like the skin that's going to be ripped off, right?
When
the
you
skin around the
yes,
wound.
and then the middle is going to be
the inner part of the wound.
The bloody part.
Oh, yeah. So you're making like, yes, I get it. So the cut should be in the middle of all of this building, right?
Exactly.
And I think, I mean, I've never done it before, but I think you get a sense just by doing it. If you kind of just feel it out, you just kind of know like, okay, this needs a little bit more here. This needs a little bit more there. You just kind of go, right?
Yes, exactly. That's a great way of putting it. Because a lot of the times, there's like a little bit more rhyme and reason to like beauty makeup, right? For example, it's like, oh no, you really make sure that it's like blended out here and you do a windshield wiper motion. But here it's like, okay, does this look like it's kind of what I want, or do I want a little more on this side? And you kind of just feel it out. All right. So now what I just have is like cotton on my arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Yep.
And we're done.
Great. That's going to scare everyone. That's going to scare everyone at home.
12 years, and this is what I've learned. No, just kidding. So now, once you've got your opening here, and I'm going to just do kind of like a gaping cut, not really a uniform cut, because a lot of times cuts just tend to be like sliver, right? Mm-hmm. I want it to be more of a gash, like something like hit me, like a hammer hit me. So that's another thing that I really want to emphasize is when you're going into a wound, make sure you know why it's there. Is it like a slash mark? Like, did someone cut you? Because that's going to be a lot thinner, more topical, right? Is it someone did a hammer? That's kind of what I'm going to end up doing, and like smashed your arm. So now you have an indentation in the middle. And so you just always have to think, why is the cut or a bruise or effect there, So
and what made it, right? Like what made it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because like if the director says, well, I really want this really big open wound right here, but a really thin kitchen knife cut, it's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't go together.
Right.
So you always have to just kind of think of, okay, why? And then also bruising, we'll talk about that a little bit later. What day is it? Is it fresh? Is it older? Because then the colors are going to change. But we'll hop onto that later. So the next step is now you got your little build right here. And now you're going to put more glue or more liquid latex on the cotton or tissue. So that's what's going to go over. So let's go ahead and do to the point where it's saturated. So you don't see the cotton anymore.
That's actually what step I'm on now.
Yes. So Michelle's ahead of me.
Slightly.
Okay.
I talk too much. She was working.
So you're basically making it smooth, and so that you don't see any of that paper thing?
Yes.
Not smooth, but like cover. You don't want to see the
Yes,
paper.
make sure you cover the paper. Make sure you have the edges down so that the paper won't stick up.
Oh, the edges. Yes. Mine is sticking up. Okay, I get it. Yep.
And at this point, you're kind of deciding what kind of wound you're doing or how you want it to look, I guess you can say.
Go ahead, raise yours up a little bit higher.
I mean,
So
that's
Michelle's gonna show you the next thing she's doing.
And right now, I kind of have an idea how I want this to look. This is going to be slightly gaping, kind of like a puncture slash wound, if you can see that. And I'm using just a spatula. You don't necessarily have to have a spatula. You can do it with your fingers. And I'm just opening it a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to add some more, just a little bit more latex to this. A little bit more.
okay. So here goes my next question. How many times you start something and you're like, that's a mess, it's not working, like, I gotta start from scratch? Or do you just kind of like keep fixing it?
Honestly, more times than not. So sometimes, especially with builds don't always go the way you want. So sometimes you're like, I don't really like that. And you have to scrap it. Hopefully that's not too many times, especially if you only have that 5-minute window. But when you're just kind of working with something, you're just like, you know what? I don't like the edges. I don't like the coloring of it, whatever it may be. And then you're like, okay, let me redo it. And that's totally fine. That's the problem with builds, is that sometimes they don't do what you want them to do. Even if you've done it for many years, sometimes they just don't play friendly.
Now I don't feel so terrible about this, because one is cooperating and the other one kind of like isn't, but I'm gonna keep going.
And that happens too. You could do like the same thing on each one, and one will work and one won't. I remember this one time we were working on the show called World's Most Astonishing News, and we had to create a realistic. So let me go back to this. We're just still adding liquid latex on this step for now, just kind of getting everything down. And then I'll let you know my story, or our story, really quick. So we had to do these cheekbones, or these cheeks that were really inflated, like really, really big, because of this rare
allergic reaction.
Yeah, this rare reaction she had. And we sculpted them, we did everything, nothing different, but something with the temperature in the room made nothing work. And so when we were applying it, it wasn't applying, it just kept falling.
It was literally melting off while we were, and we're trying to keep it cool. And so Serena and I were working together, and it was just not working. And this is something that we do all the time.
Yeah,
so
it's nothing different.
I was like, oh.
So sometimes that does happen. Even when you planned everything out, sometimes it just doesn't work. So now I'm still adding a little bit more liquid latex over here.
So what is the idea? What are you trying to do with that, with the dabbing?
So with the dabbing, it's just kind of making sure to saturate the cotton so it goes all the way through, and it brings a really fun texture. Mm-hmm. Now, I might go rogue here just so you can see the differences in a build, since Michelle has this really cool cut happening. I'm going to turn, so you can learn two things in once. So everyone can learn two things in once. I was going to plan on doing a cut. I'm going to switch this into a burn. So Michelle will show you. And since you have two different ones in here, maybe you could try both.
Let's do that, because one of them is not cooperating. I'm going to turn this one into a burn. Okay.
Then that turns into a burn.
Yeah, that's good. Be a burn. Yeah. That one.
Exactly. So since Michelle's got her cut going, I'm going to turn mine into a burn. So everything up until here till now was the same steps. So that's something I wanted to let everyone know, is like with a build, you can turn it into a cut, or you can turn it into a burn really, really easily. It's just depending on what you do afterwards. So see, Michelle has this cut going on. She's really getting that like inside defined here. And I decided to go with more of a textured burn. Like I was cooking and I didn't know what I was doing because I'm not a cook, and I burnt myself. That's realism right there.
Okay, I'm going to adjust mine to the same.
Perfect. So let's do that.
I was also cooking.
Yes. I want y'all to learn two things at once. So cut, and then this is gonna be a burn. Perfect.
Okay. You know what? Even that just is already better by just Okay.
Turning into something. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll show one more time for everyone watching at home. So mine is now turning more into skin texture, as if like my skin got a little bit melted and now it's a burn. Michelle's made sure that she has this gaping like hole in the center, and that this skin right here, which eventually we're obviously gonna paint, is just her skin coming off because ow, she got a really bad cut. So now with these same steps, you all are going to learn two different things here, because there's two of us. Might as well learn multiple things. Let's do that. All right. So once you have what kind of is the basis of what you're looking for, whether it's the cut, if she likes that shape, which I believe she does, we're going to now move on to the next step. Whether it's a burn, I like this. I kind of looks like I like really did smack it on a pan.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go into two different painting. So I'll let Michelle start hers while I grab my stuff over here. So go right ahead.
Okay, so painting time. What I'm gonna do, since this is gonna be a cut, let me show you one more time. I'm gonna add a little bit of like skin coloring, like bruising effect around it to kind of blend it in. Let me get my...
So what, do I use the eyeshadow things for that or the other cream color thing for that?
Good.
For the burn, probably the eyeshadow.
Yeah.
That would be easier.
Yeah. So for hers, you're going to use a cream. And then for mine, we'll use the eyeshadow. So then you can kind of see two different ways with two different product types. So I have this right here.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. So I will go ahead and start this. So the colors for a burn that you would need are kind of in this palette here, which I actually am totally wearing on my eyes as well. So, which is cool. So it's going to be a lot of like charcoals and browns and a little bit of reds. So if you do have anything to that extent, that'd be amazing. I know I'm kind of bringing in a burn last minute, but you know what? We're going to make this work. So yeah, so basically you have your favorite eyeshadow palette or something to that extent that these colors are pretty like common. This is like your perfect burn eyeshadows. And then also what's great about burns is you can use creams, but a burn is something a little bit that's more dry, has different dry textures to it. So eyeshadows work really well. She's going to show you with actually an alcohol palette, correct?
Yes, I'm using it right now. I'm just going around it with the cream. It's a basic, cream paint. And
like
then
this,
I'm going...
right? This red one? Okay.
And then I'm
so you're going around the
perimeter. Yes.
Yeah, the perimeter. Okay. Mine's still a little wet. Does it matter?
No, actually, just wait like a second more. But when it's still nice and kind of wet, what happens is you get this really cool different colored textures with the colors. So it actually ends up looking really pretty. So you don't have to wait too long. Okay. All right. So now, if you're doing the cut, you're going around the perimeter of the cut. For me, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of like the browns tones, and I'm going to put that on the edges where the skin is like up, because I want to get a lot of different colors as if my skin was just freshly burned, and I have a lot of those red tones still in it.
Okay, I have some pinks and I have some reds. That should work.
Perfect. So when we're doing this, like very different to when you're doing eyeshadow, you're always doing a lot of dabbing motions. So a lot of dabbing, and I'm just kind of going on the skin texture right here. And I'm just doing a little dabbing, getting those reds in, looking like, ow, that burns, that hurts, because it does. No, I'm just kidding, doesn't it? Well, I mean, mind over matter, right? It don't hurt. All right. So on the higher parts of the burn, where definitely on the lower parts of the burn where it really, really got burnt the most, I'm going to take this charcoaly color right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of like dark charcoal parts to it. because that's where it really, really got me. And it's all about painting. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts of SFX is the painting part. I know we've referenced a couple of more multiple prosthetic creatures, and honestly I love applying the prosthetics. I love that part, but painting and just really getting that dimension is like my favorite part of everything. From a burn to a multiple prosthetic creature, I love the paint. It's like my favorite thing.
Realism comes in with the paint.
But honestly, that's the part that feels really hard, no? Because it's like you have to make it look realistic. So that seems like that would be hard, and like it would take a minute to get it right. Because mine's gonna look like it's a moldy mess, but you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just looking at how the burnt kind of like came out. So what I'm doing is those little high parts right here, I'm adding that charcoaly tone, because that's where it looks like it would kind of really have that nice charcoal to it. So now I'm laying all these colors down, but when it really comes to life is when the blood happens.
Right.
Yes. And I know later we're going to show a couple pictures. And there's going to be one picture that is shown that's a very realistic wound of a broken nose. And this is where we can't emphasize enough that less is more. So a lot of the times we love blood, right? And we just want to douse ourselves in blood. But realistically, that wound's not going to do that. So it depends what the outcome is, what either the director or the event or whatever it may be was expecting. So did they want something that's like really campy blood and they want overly done? And we have an example where the face is like ripped off. That's that overly done. It's so bloody, but it's still an effect. And then we have examples where it's like a realistic wound where I've literally put on our Instagram pages, do you think this is real or fake? And everyone thought it was real. I'm like, no, that was makeup, everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now that I got all these little like charcoaly bits in.
And I'm just adding a little skin tone color to the bruising.
That's the one I don't have. So if I don't have the skin tone, then I would have to make it more red, like more hurt, right?
Yeah, you
like
can
less skin.
Yeah. Right.
Less skin, more injury.
Yes. All right. So now that I got basically the burn I was looking for, where it looks like I really just hit something, now I'm going to go in with some scab blood. Okay. So gonna get that in 1 second. Scab blood. Let's discuss bloods for a second. Now, these are just things that we can go over. You don't necessarily need scab blood, but I'm going to just show you. You can get this at normally Halloween stores as well. It's a chunky blood, but we're also going to use like your thinner regular blood as well. Yes, exactly. But we just want to go over the reason why we have so many bloods in our kit. Blood comes out differently for everything, right? So you have coagulated blood, you have blood coming from the mouth, you have blood coming from the eyes, nose. So there's bloods for everything. That's a little bit more on the advanced level, but we just want to touch on that a little bit. But food coloring works too. Food coloring, food dye works.
Corn syrup.
Yeah, corn syrup. I mean, that is still a staple, but these are just to go a little bit more on the dramatic side. So I'm going to use scab blood, which you can actually make on your own by using the Halloween blood and using cornstarch, mixing it, and then you can get something very similar. So again, we can still do your in the house items, but this is just if you don't want to make your own. It's like $10 at the Halloween store, so it's not too bad. But again, you can just make it your own, which makes it really fun too, kind of like a little chemist thing. But I am going to go ahead and grab a chunk of this blood. You're going to see how thick it is. So it's thick, it's not drippy. And I'm going to put it kind of in the center of this right here.
So if I'm doing
And
it with the liquid one, just put like a little less, like just a little bit.
exactly. So yeah, just put a little less so it's not dripping, but
It's like a gel.
oh,
Oh, this is a little bit thick. Yeah, mine's a little bit.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's the gel one. That one works too.
Yes. So
Okay.
again, yeah, it's a great example that there's so many different types.
I'm going to take the same thing. This is the same scab blood on a spatula, and I'm going to add it in the middle as well.
Ooh, that one's starting to look gnarly, Michelle.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I'm just taking little pieces here, really making sure that like my wound opened up
Yeah,
a few
that-
areas, got nice and
That one looks
bloody.
gnarly too.
We're getting bloody. The blood is where things come to life.
Yeah, I know. Mine's gonna need a lot of blood because I don't have skin color, so I have to just make it look like
Bloodier.
bloodier.
Yes, I love it. All right. And then on top of the blood, I'm actually going to take that like charcoaly color and add dark pieces on the blood. And that's what really gets it nice and like a burn. So you'll notice like once I just have the blood on, okay, there's blood. But once you actually apply like a charcoal on it, that's when it starts to get that really nice burn look.
Ew.
Yes, when you're saying like ew or gross to your stuff, you know it's good.
Yeah. Mine are like, I can see how, you kind of have to, I guess what it is like you kind of have to, because you keep on referring to like that charcoal doing this or that, but it's like once you kind of have to like, I wonder if like you kind of have to like study real wounds and see like what they look like, right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you
Because
for
to
touching
know
on
like
that.
the colors that things do and the things that,
Yes, exactly. So yes, that is actually something that we've had to do because we've actually worked for like you were saying earlier, makeup can take you into a lot of different like areas, and we've worked for the San Francisco International Airport, Caltrain, different schools to teach their safety protocols and to create those really realistic wounds. So that's been really fun to actually create something that's just like so real that you do that second take like, whoa, hold on a second, like is that person really hurt?
Yeah.
So you have to actually study like you're saying, study anatomy, know that this, like if you get cut on the inner part of your arm, that's different from the outer part of your arm. If you're getting cut on your back, that's different from your chest. So just kind of knowing how things actually work to get that really good realism, opposed to sometimes you just need to do a lot of blood, which is actually really, really fun too. I love that. Like I love realism just as much as I love a good campy, overly bloody thing. So both of them you need to know, but both of them are just as fun. So now that I have gotten all my texturing here and I got my wound down, I am going to show you while Michelle finishes up hers a little fun trick in just a second. So now I'm feeling kind of Freddy Krueger-ish here. I got my wound, I got my blood. I'm gonna add a little bit of that liquid blood because I said that it was a fresher wound. So I need something to ooze a little bit. I'm going to steal some of your blood in a second. So now I got the texture. I got the different colors. I got a flesh tone, a little bit lighter than my tone. I got the black. I got, Michelle's going to give me some blood here. Teamwork. See, teamwork makes dream work. Perfect.
Yeah. Ooh, those look scary. Mine looks like, okay, I don't know what mine looks like, but it definitely looks like something bad happened.
Yes, I love it.
One turned into like a bruise because I just put more purple there to just make it.
That.
I think if I had a little bit of skin color, it would help, but it just looks like something unpleasant happened, more bruising.
Yes, I love it. That actually does look like a fantastic bruise. See, Erica, you were teaching too because we needed to show bruising and you had it. Boom. So for everyone
I'm
watching,
like-
Erica just taught you bruising.
I was like,
So-
this isn't looking what, but you know, I think like I also imagine, let's say in a more independent film or a short film, like the films that we do, and we want to do, and we have little time and we want to do some kind of injury where like, you know, maybe it doesn't matter what it is. So specifically, it's just that it looks hurt. Then, you know, any of them works. Like
That's
you can just, whatever you can do
exactly.
quick, right?
Exactly. And you touched on that too, especially on independent films and something that just really wants like that shock factor opposed to like a whole backstory. That happens so much too. So sometimes you're just kind of like, okay, I can do this. I remember I was on set in Fresno for 5 days, 6 days. I was actually on set with my now husband, then boyfriend. And I had to do, they were just like, can you do something on this one actress? She had no SFX that was in the script. Can you do something? And it was actually one of my favorite SFX I've ever done, because I did a fake tattoo on her because I just happened to have it in my kit. And then I made it look like it was burnt off. So you can only see the tattoo a little bit, and it was a burn over it. Not planned, not scripted. It was just something that I kind of was like, let me do this. And then it turned out awesome. And it was just something that I was like, oh, let me try this. I've never done this before. They want something cool. Let's do it. And it ended up working. And it's one of my favorite effects. And I did it in like 5 minutes. So it was really cool. So sometimes those happy accidents or those things you don't plan end up being your favorite. And so this is my burn here. So
look at that.
Pretty simple, just, you know, some texture, some different blood, and then different colors. You get that charcoal. Michelle will come in.
And here's the cut. Really
oh my God. Yeah. Look at that.
And
that's
if
like
you look
the whole...
from the side, you can see the skin flaps.
Ew! Yes, I can see it. Oh my God! Oh
you
no!
know it's
I
good
can
when you
see
can stick
it.
a brush in there.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to come in here really quick because I know we talked about, you know, the Halloween store a lot. And this is a product that is a go-to. And this is going to take me like 2 minutes to do. So I just want to show you the difference really quick of a build or having something that's around that same price range that if you just go to the Halloween store, you can get. So this is called Tinsley Transfers. They're at every Halloween store. And do you mind if you just do the thingy for me? Yeah. So it's almost like a temporary tattoo. And you're going to see, and the reason why I'm showing everyone today is a build does take a little more time. Whether you've been doing builds for a long time or you've been doing builds, it's your first build. It does still take a little while. Sometimes it doesn't work as well. So getting something that's around that same price range and that same level, skill level, can actually give you something that's around the same, if not a little more realistic for a really, really, really like speedy amount of time. So we're going to show you that really quick. Let's do this one. So all you need for this is, like I said, water and where you want to apply it. So, Erica, that really bloody one looks amazing.
Oh, I'm waiting for it to dry a little so I can do the black thing that you said, like the little black color.
It looks like you're in pain. I love it. Okay. So I love how your beauty makeup looks so beautiful, and then your SFX looks so gory. It's awesome. That makes me so happy. So I'm gonna do this right here. It's just like a slit throat, and all you do is just like you were to do like a fake tattoo, right? We've all done those. Is you just peel the plastic, and I'll have you actually dab it on for me, since I can't see too well. And then you apply it where you want to. So already that build that you just did is in there. So they already have it. You just apply it. I have the water right there. So I want to slit throat, right? So I'm going to apply it. Michelle's going to actually do all the hard work, AKA just tapping it with water. Oh, wait, sorry. I actually have this for that.
Okay.
There you go. So you just take paper towels. So same thing. It's very similar to what, we were talking about, like what you need, paper towels and stuff, except for this one, it's going to take you olive.
Just wet it with some plain old water. The transfer is already on her neck. So then you just dab, just like a fake tattoo, just like she said.
Ow. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, you're slashing my throat.
I know. So weird. I thought we were friends. I didn't know our friendship was over. So
just make sure it's saturated before you pull it off.
Yeah, so just like a temporary tattoo, you literally, here, I can grab this off. You literally want to really make sure it's super, super, super like saturated so it really stays on. Yeah.
You guys see that?
Oh my God.
And it's already on. Done.
That's crazy.
So that's just a fun trick. And then if any of the edges are like lifted a little bit, you just go ahead, grab the water and then put those down. So you don't even need glue with this. And you saw it took all of less than 2 minutes. And now all she needs to do is put some blood.
Just paint it however you want, whatever skin tone, or put blood. So for this one, I'm just going to add a little
blood, and then boom, you're done. And again, this is something you can find at the Halloween store as well.
That looks so real.
If you know that you don't have much time, or you don't want to use all those products in your kit for a build, or you just want something that's already done but also looks great, this is one of our go-to products.
Just gonna take your finger, dab it around. You can get even bloodier than this if you want, but we're gonna leave it here.
You're done.
There you go. Yeah.
So just another fun trick.
One thing is very clear to me, and this is important because, for our students to know, it's that I can, like I did it and mine looks okay, but I can definitely see how this just needs practice. You have to practice, you have to practice, you have to do it. Then it gets closer, then it's a little better. And then finally, you'll start getting some. But it's very easy it's just a very easy thing to start. And then you just really, like for me, I know like, okay, I would be here for like another hour tweaking and seeing.
I love it.
Yeah. Because you just want it to look. Now I added like some little black thing and it looks like,
ooh,
like that one.
So
seems like two things. One, you have to study and know what things are supposed to look like.
Yes.
Like you said, what made this cut and what is it supposed to look like? 2, just have the patience to practice. Yes. And then 3, it looks like, be okay with failing, because sometimes you're just gonna have to like start from scratch, right?
Yes, definitely.
And then also just the fact that it's just gonna get better with practice, right?
Yes,
it has to.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you saw my work from even 8 years ago to like my work currently, I'm like, it's completely different. And I thought those things were great then, and they are, because whenever you're starting off with something, it is great. I know that sounds cliche, but you're creating something that you didn't do before. So that's always a great thing. Then to see that progress from like your first time to even your second time, it's like, oh, hey, okay, I learned how to do that build a little better this time. Or maybe it took me less time. There's always like small goals, like I was able to do this one thing in 20 minutes. Now I'm able to do it in 10, or my painting was okay. Now it's more realistic. So there's so many goals with SFX that just, like you said, it takes time.
Yeah.
And patience.
Yeah. But that's good. I'm happy with my first try at this.
It looks so good.
That looks like something bad happened. Again, I definitely have like a little flap thing going on, but then it looks like it's full with blood. So it looks like something bad happened, but it's undetermined what did it. So that I have to get better at. And then the other, it's like, I was just trying to do a bruise, but I feel like, if you just keep going, because you can add some green, you can add some, right? Like different things.
Exactly. No, it looks great, Erica. You did amazing.
Thank you. For my first one, I'm happy. Okay, so I would like to, can we look at the photos? Let's look at the photos of all of your work. I'm excited about that.
Please do. Thank you.
So let's see. Well, we set it up and we can talk about those things, because I did see some really creepy, scary things in there that I was like, oh my God. So you can tell us a little bit about like how long it took and like how those things were done. So let me we're setting it up. And then we will. How are you guys been working together for so long, too?
Actually, we've only been working together for 4 years.
Oh, for 4. You've been working
Yes.
as makeup for 12 separately, but then you've been together for
Yes.
4. Okay.
Yes.
How did you meet?
We actually met at one of do you know Halloween haunts? Like those things that
At amusement
parks that are like the
Oh, yeah,
Halloween
yeah, like a
things.
haunted house type thing where you go and like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. So we both
Oh.
happened to just want to do that one year, and we met. And then, to be quite honest, she didn't want to be my friend, and so it took a whole other
This
year.
story again.
It took a whole other year where we ran into each other at
On another job.
Another job that was a special effects job, and I was like, "Hey!" And there wasn't that many people, so she had to talk to me. And so since then, we've been best of friends. And she actually, when I got married in 2018, was my maid of honor. And so it went from like a Halloween, like just happened to like our love of Halloween took us there, and then she was rude. And then she was forced to be friends with me, and the rest is history.
Okay, that's a good story. Okay, so the photos are ready. Let's look at the photos. I want to look at these photos first.
Sounds good.
And then we're just going to see like a bunch of different photos of things that you worked on, and then we can talk about it.
Perfect. I'm like smiling with the thing.
Ooh, pretty scary, some of these things. Ooh! Oh my God, that clown. Okay, and that's like, this is the nose thing that we were, yeah. So that's kind of, this nose cut is kind of like what we were, similar to what we were trying to do right now, right? Like mine looks a little bit like, okay, and then there's burn. This is like a burn with, I mean, what is that like a hand on top of, I don't know. It looks like something burnt it that was grabbing it.
Yes.
Or something. Then a neck thing, which is, basically what you did, but like a lot more holes in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are, ew. And then those, okay, those are basically, so all of these things, right? Like the neck is the same situation. It's like you build so that then you can make it look like a hole, right?
Exactly. So that's why we want to include it.
The leg with the jeans is terrifying.
Yes.
Oh my God. We'll talk a little bit more about this right now. But that is definitely terrifying. Because it's like you can see muscle, skin, bone. I don't know what's happening in there, but it's just like, that's a lot. That's a bad injury. Okay, and then there is this. Oh. Is that even like actually about this leg? Is that really? Well, I'll ask you after. This okay. This person has completely his entire face off, so half of it is off. That's my God. Oh my God, that's almost like a burn and everything at the same time. That's like cuts, burns, face melting, like the whole thing.
Exactly.
Wow. And then wait, and he also has like an eye that's just a different color of eye, or is that his? It's like a blue eye or something. Oh my God.
There's a lot going on that one.
There's a lot going on in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there is this one. Oh, what is going on with this? There's someone like, this eye is really not okay, right? Like there's something with the eye. The eye is
Oh, that
off.
was an antler.
Is that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, it looks like this is a picture from set, right? Because it's like on the monitor.
Oh, yes.
On your monitor. Yeah, those are pretty, guys, these are pretty
We like when people are grossed out by our stuff.
Yeah, right? That's the ultimate compliment that is terrifying and gross. Yeah. Okay. And then what else do we have? Oh, this is the, I bet you this is the black creature monster thing that you told me about. I want to hear everything about this. This is crazy. This is, Wow. And yes, the thing you were saying about that he had like fingers and he had a wig is like a full creature, right? So when you
Yeah.
like that looks like a full thing, and then there's like this fish looking thing. Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yes, yes, that one too.
It's kind of like a fish person,
Yes.
fish monster.
Yes. A fish
Uh,
human hybrid
is this the
thing.
one that you had to build an entire family for?
No, but we
Something
had
like
to do,
it.
yes, exactly, something very similar.
Okay. And then there is what it looks like the same fish thing. Oh my god, and it moving.
She
So
also
this is
has
a
the kind
video,
of
yeah.
fish, the fish man thing
Oh
from
wow.
Cabin in the Woods.
The inspiration for the stenciling is touches on that comes from
All right. That
Yeah.
is a wild ride through your work.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait, I have like more questions about these things. I would like to
Please.
talk more. Yes, there's a lot. So first of all, can we look at the nose? I want to look at the nose again because that's kind of similar to what we were trying to do, and I just want to see if you can tell me more about that. Like, is this basically kind of like how you did that, or is that a prosthetic?
Yes, but no. I'll tell you exactly how we did that. So there's this product. It's basically fake skin, and it looks like this. This is the exact stuff we used. If you can see that, it's really
Oh.
mushy, and it's like silicone-y. So we use this, and basically you just tear off however much you need, and then you take like a spatula or back of a makeup brush like this. And once you adhere it, you don't even need glue for this. You can glue it depending on the lights or how long you need it to be on, but we didn't glue this one in particular. And we just took this product and you just lay it down on the skin like this. And then you take the spatula and you just basically smooth out the edges, and you can split it open. You can do a gaping wound. It's basically, this is to simulate skin, human skin, and it feels disgusting.
But the
So
same.
basically, it's like the same concept, right? Though it's like a more sophisticated product, but it's the same idea. It's still like built.
This is the
Exactly.
product. It's artificial sculpting flesh.
Yes.
And it feels just like squishy skin. It's
And
so good.
Erica, you hit it right on the nose. The same exact steps that we just went over with using the cotton or the tissue is the same
thing.
way that we applied that nose. And it looks really realistic, because sometimes, you know, like you referenced the photo where it's like the face is gone. That's definitely more campy, more like what's going on. But sometimes you need something that just looks really real. But we did the same steps as we just did with these builds, just with one different product.
And we knew that photo and that that was going to be close up. That's why we used this versus that, because this looks very
Right.
realistic.
Okay, so let's talk about that other half face off that we were saying, because that was a lot. That
Yes.
literally the one that. What was going on with that? What
So
happened? Okay,
that-
this is what happened to him in the story.
Yes, exactly. So that was at the place. I wanted to include that because it's that unrealistic SFX. So it's not something that's like, oh, that's real. It's something that's just overly bloody, because that's also a very, specific way of doing SFX. And it's where we met in that Halloween haunt that I told you about. But basically, the story behind it was he got ran over, but then someone put like gasoline on him, so he got a burn. So that's why there's like the in-depth, like, so it's not just like a burn on top, but he has like, it's like pushed in.
Oh my
And
god!
then
Yeah.
he's turning half dead, so there's like part of his face is like light there. It's like a very unrealistic ghost story, right? And then so now he's turning from alive, but now turning into dead. So that's where that transition, where it's only half of the face. So it's just a crazy
Wow.
concept that was supposed to be spooky and doing too much, and that's what it was.
Okay, that's cool. What about the let's talk that thing with the eye. That was like, what was going on with the eye with the antler picture? That's
That was for a short film that we were doing, and it was supposed to be his eye got gouged out by a deer antler, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a deer antler from behind. So basically,
Oh
we were
my
supposed to
God.
it was like it was pushed through, then came out of the front of his eye.
Oh my God,
They're
that is
basically looking
crazy.
Yes. So like a
Okay.
freak accident
Yeah.
situation.
Wow. Okay. What about okay, let's talk about the black creature.
Yes, so
That's
With the
that's
wig
our
and
favorite creature. If you all are familiar with either the show The Walking Dead or Creep Show, we actually got to meet the oh shoot, supposed to be on.
Oops. Okay. I
Are we
see
still
you.
there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that. We got to meet because we're working on something with like the main SFX artist of all these amazing things. And we're like, hey, can we show you this one creature we did? And he fell in love with it. And to know someone who's been in the industry working for like 30 plus years who can actually love this creature just as much as us was like so beautiful. But yes, that was for a film that is coming out next year. I just talked to the director.
Ooh.
Yes, so stay tuned for more info. I'll give you more info when it comes out, and then I'll pass it along. But the director just had this vision, has always loved horror, and created this really cool creature. And like we were saying before, you know, it was a creature that's more of a shadowy creature, and then it had extended fingers, and it had these like barbs coming from the arms, and we just had to create that creature from nothing, from like literally just the paper vision to
It was
creating
all in
this.
shadow.
Yeah,
It was just like a silhouette.
Yeah, and then
How long
also
did it
what I-
take to do it?
to just apply it was 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
But
Oh,
we did lab
really?
work before that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
to do the full airbrush application was 2 hours, but we did do lab work prior. So what obviously you're familiar with, but everyone watching is the prep work day. So we did 2 prep work days for that with the sculpting. But what's great about it is it was really fun to again paint. Like I love to paint, and you'll see that there's different tones in that. So even though it's more of just like a black base, there's like greens that reflect, and there's like different colors that reflect
yellow.
off of it. So yeah, so it's really cool to build something that's more of a shadowy with lots of different highlights to it. So yeah, that's our favorite. And also just the way she moves, that actress was just phenomenal. And to really have that challenge of having extended fingers, but having her be able to like lay it and smack it on the ground with it still looking realistic, opposed to it now not bending.
Folding,
yeah, like folding. So there's a lot of different challenges to that shoot that were really, really cool and really fun.
So then what you were saying with the prep is that you would have the fingers pre-made, you would have the pieces pre-made, and then you have to apply everything on set, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then that's amazing. I love that creature. Yeah, it's very scary, but it's also just kind of beautiful.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this fish, what's happening with this fish man?
Yes.
Fish thing.
So, yes. So her name's Gill Woman, and that was actually
Oh, it's a
to
woman.
work- Yes, which is also cool when you don't know, like, because the prosthetic and the makeup's so different. You don't know if it's a female, a male, etc. So that was for a company that sells like prosthetics called Mostly Dead. They just wanted this prosthetic that they had that wasn't selling too well. They wanted someone to create something cool for their social media and just to get people interested. And so they were like, hey, can you create something different? We don't really like the examples we have. And then that amazing creature came from it. And that lady, she's like a pop and lock dancer. So she has these really cool moves to it. We have a couple other videos, but I don't think we shared it. And so she just was really able to get like these really cool, like kind of underwater movements. So it ended up going really well, and the prosthetic ended up selling out. So that was cool.
Oh my God, that's a success story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that work with us. It's very, very cool. And thank you for teaching me my first SFX makeup. So I want to ask you last couple of things. What if someone wants to learn? What if one of our students is more interested in learning more about this and how to do special effects makeup? What would they do next? Like if you were in high school and you're just like, I want to do that. What should they do next?
Well, the main thing, like we said earlier, is practice, practice, practice. That's the most important part. Once you practice and have everything down, you can start displaying your work on social media. That's the easiest way to kind of get yourself out there, use the hashtags. And then you also could, I mean, a little bit later on down the line, you can do a website, but social media is kind of the most important. This is, you know, Sabrina's a social media lady. She loves that part of the business. So that is the most important part. And then if you don't necessarily have to go to school, because we didn't, but we, like you said, we took a lot of programs and stuff. But if you want to go to school, just research, find the best school that fits your needs, you know, and then you can go that route, or you can reach out to other makeup artists that are in the business already and ask if you can assist with them. That's actually what kind of like what we like to do, because it's more like hands-on instead of just, you know, opening and closing a book. So that's another way you can go about it. You have anything?
And torture your friends. If you have friends, family members that will let you just try crazy things on them, go ahead and practice makes perfect, because you never know what's going to happen. I know that, I think in the slide we saw the Pennywise clown that I did. That was one day that I actually had a Friday night off. I was just bored. I had like a witch prosthetic, and I had a tutu laying around, and I just put it on myself. And I already know how to do this stuff, but I just did it. Gave myself a personal challenge, even as an artist who's been doing it forever, of doing it in 20 minutes. And that ended up being on an ABC News article. So you just never know where your things end up. So practice means perfect. If you have a Friday night, you're not doing anything, do it on yourself. Do it on your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, your loved one, whoever it may be. Just practice. And then, yeah, always feel free to reach out to people on social media that you do see are working. We have a lot of people who reach out to us in our messages that just say, hey, you know, I'm 14 and I've been doing this blood on me. How does it look? And whenever we can, we always reply back with, you know, like some critique and some suggestions, or, you know, answering their questions. Always reach out, because people who love what they're doing as much as we do, they will definitely take the time to help people who are aspiring to do it.
And what about, let's just say one of our students was like, hey, Michelle, hey, Sabrina, I would like to be your assistant. So what are you looking for? What type of things you're looking for an assistant? What would you want them to show you? What would you want to hear from them that would make you consider them for as an assistant?
Oh, great question. Actually, a couple times on set, we've had like the director's like daughter or son who's like 16 and really wants to do it. And they brought them on set, asked us permission. And we've actually had them help us create like a wound like this before, so they can, you know, have their first little credit. We are always just looking for people, no matter what age they are, just people who are passionate. Like, if you show us that you love this just as much as we do, we will take you under our wing. We will show you like, hey, you know, come over. Like, for you, we'll do this big prosthetic, but all we need you to do is like the blood work, and we'll take it step by step and give people those little chances. Because like, unfortunately, we never really got those chances. We kind of had to make our own. So we want to just make sure that like we can open the doors as much as we can for people, because it's just really great when artists come together, whether it's aspiring or seasoned. If we have that chance to help people, we want to. And even us, I mean, we still reach out to people who are, like what I said before, 30 years industry. That's more than double of us. And I reach out to them too, and I'm like, hey, you know, like, what do you think of this? Like, do you think this needs a little bit of tweaking? Give me your advice, because even though we've been doing this for 12 years, there's still so much for us to learn. So always just kind of reaching out to the person and then giving that. But if you're willing to, you know, work the crazy hours and you're willing to get nice and bloody, we are willing to have you assist us.
That sounds like networking is important, sounds like relationships, and sounds like mentorship is important, and sounds like being willing to always learn and get better, right? Because it seems you know, even doesn't matter how many years you've been working in the industry, some director is going to come and is going to invent something or something that like hasn't done. And you're just going to have to be like, okay, so like what you just said, this particular guy got run over, burnt, turning into dead and melting at the same time. And then it's like, okay, so that may be a thing that you're just going to have to like, you know, ask, like just learn more about it, ask for advice. So that seems like it's an important part of it. And I would say
Exactly.
the other thing, it sounds like it's important to have a portfolio, right? So I would say if you do something
Yes.
good, take a picture of it, right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
correct.
A picture really is worth 1,000 words when it comes to this, because without photos, I mean, you don't
Did you really do the work.
yeah, did you really do it? So we portfolio is so important. I mean, literally from, again, it's your first time doing it to you've been doing it as long as us to you've been doing it twice as long as us. Portfolio says everything, and that's what's going to really help you get those jobs in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This was so great. Thank you, Sabrina and Michelle, for sharing your work with us and helping our
you.
students learn
Thank
something
you.
new. So for our students, tag us on social media and show us your creations. So whoever followed along and has something good, tag us and we will show it to Sabrina and Michelle. Okay, so I hope you'll come back soon and you'll join us on our next industry series. Maybe we'll do beauty, makeup, or red carpet looks on me next time. All right, so thank you so much. And for everybody at home, that's it for today. We hope that you enjoy the workshop and that you'll join us in next week for our next episode of the industry series. Next week, we're going to be learning about how to get into acting. So we're going to be talking to someone we all love in the industry, casting director Blanca Valdez, who's responsible for casting some of the biggest commercials you see on TV, and also talent manager Jaime Ferrar, who represents a lot of Latino actors that you see on television and film. So if you're into acting, next week is going to be full of valuable information, guidance, and answers to your questions. So also you're going to get to meet two super successful Latino professionals working in the highest levels of the entertainment industry. So do not miss it. Thank you for watching and we will see you next time.